Welcome back. This is episode 8 of creating a simple 2D platform game with libGDX, and today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking we're going to make our character be able to die. And the way that we're going to be doing this is we are going to implement spikes into our game. So we're going to actually create a brand new class. We're going to be creating and we're going to redo a little bit of how we handled hitting. So like last episode we ended up just defaulting if we collide with something we move to the left. Well, we need to make conditional collide, so this way if we hit a spike out a certain way we die in this one. So in this particular spike I'm gonna open it up so you guys can see it a little bit. Now if you guys look at this, okay, we have a brick down here at the bottom and then we have our spikes. And if you guys notice, I colored them a little differently because I was trying to figure out which one I liked the best. So if you guys would like to comment on the bottom which one you guys like, 1, 2, 3, or 4, let me know, and I really do want to know so I can add it into my personal game. So anyway, going back to that, if I walk into this, so my character's I walk into the side of it, I'm not really on the spike, so I just want to move the character left or right. However, if I jump on this spike, then I actually want to be hurt, and the character will die. So, and when I mean die, we're just going to make the character respawn back at the beginning. So that's the goal for today. So so left or right, we do exactly what we did before. If we jump on the top, we will restart the character. So let's go close this out, and just so we know exactly where we were at, this is the game so far. We can jump, we can collide. I'm kind of floaty, so I might try to fix that as we go. So there's another one. These are some spikes here, and we're good to go. So these are our characters so far, or this is our progress of our game so far. So the first thing we're going to do is, I already added the spikes image to this, so we're going to need to create a brand new object, and we'll call it spikes. So we're going to right click, new, we're going to do class, and we're going to call this spikes. Okay, now spikes is going to be very similar to brick. Actually, it's going to be almost identical to brick, except for a few things that are going to go on here. So we are going to take this away for spikes and just make it a little bit easier, and we're also going to extend, and we're going to be extending game object. There we go. And we're going to add the unimplemented methods. Now before we actually get that far, we should actually go in here and we're going to come in here and we're going to create a brand new abstract method called hit action, and we are just going to return an integer, not a void. Now this should break some of our code. It should actually break cool guy, and the way we're going to do this is we're just going to add the unimplemented method, save. We don't really care. Actually, what is the default? We'll make it -1. Actually 0 is fine. And then we're going to go here, brick, and then we are going to return action 1. Now action 1 is going to be movement. Alright, actually we're going to do hit action, and then we're going to be doing aside. Where's our game object? Int side. Save. Int side. Save. And brick. Int side. Save. So it doesn't matter what side we hit on the brick, we're always going to be using our 1 action, which is going to be move. Our 2 action is going to be die. Alright, so we're going to come over here to spikes. We're going to add that unimplemented method. Okay, and we're going to first create our constructor. So we're going to do public spikes, and we are going to be taking in the X and Y of our spikes. And the first thing is our hit box will equal a new rectangle, and that is going to be from X, Y, and the width is 64, but I opened this up in Photoshop and my top of my spikes is at 27. Okay, so which tells me I go from 27 to 64, and I am not calculator. I'm not going to do the math in my head, so 64 minus 27 is 37. So the entire sprite is 37 pixels tall. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 37. Done. Then we are going to do texture equals new texture, and we are going to go get the internal file, files.internal, and we're going to go to sprite/spikes. Oops, that should be lowercase. The sprite is equal to a new sprite using this texture, but our starting point will be 0, and we're going to do 27. That's going to be the starting leftmost point in our texture file. Then we are going to go 64 pixels wide, and we're going to do 37 pixels down. And I didn't spell sprite right, so we're going to fix that. Save. So first off, that's going to be -1. Boom. If we don't hit it, whatever. Actually, I don't even think we had to do this in Brick, did we? So we'll check. Yeah, we're not checking to see if that hits anything, so we don't need to really worry about that. And these bricks aren't moving. Actually, we can set the position. So let's set the position. And we are going to do this dot hitbox. So hitbox dot x is equal to x, hitbox y is equal to y, and the sprite position set position is going to be equal to x and y. Bam, done. Easy. The next thing that we need to do is we need to draw the actual image. So we do sprite.draw batch. Done. Easy. Jump. These don't jump. Okay. We have to return hitbox here. Save. And this is what's going to be kind of interesting. If the side equals 1, we're going to return 2. Otherwise, we're going to hit return 1. And we can actually just get rid of that. Boom. So this means if we happen to touch this, meaning we hit the top, the left, or the right of this particular thing, we are going to, or not to hit the top, but if we hit it, if our head hits the top or the bottom of the actual spike, we're okay because we're not actually touching the spike, and vice versa for everything else. Now we will eventually learn to flip the spikes over, and we'll do some math on this, and it'll be really easy, but for now that is the math for an upside spike, so we're good there. Now we need to do a few changes in our game itself. So now we have our object, and what we're going to do here is we are going to put a spike next to something. Let's go all the way up here to the top. Let's make sure we're drawing these right. So we're going to go to list.add new spike, and we have one up in the air over there, so let's do see. Let's actually lower this guy down to 200. And I think these are 64. So let's do 580, 584. And let's do 6, 4, 8. Okay, and we're going to do that at 200. Save. Spikes with an S. And then we should be able to import it, right? Bam, import. So we're going to run this, making sure that we can get onto the spikes are actually there. Okay, spike is right down here for some reason. Let's make sure that that's okay. Spikes. Oh, the reason why that ended up happening was we never set the initial position of the spike. So we're going to do set position X and Y. Save and run. Okay, so now we have our spikes over there. And let's get on top. And we should be able to walk on spikes now. Come over here. Oop, now we're walking on spikes. So that's awesome. And remember, our hitbox is a little bit bigger than our actual sprite of their character. That's why he doesn't look like he's flush up against anything, but he is flush against that. So that is our hitbox on that. So right now, whenever we touch it, we want our character to go back to the beginning. So we are going to need to go into the game, and we're going to come over to where we get hit. So this is our switch statement. So this basically tells us what side we got hit on. So the first thing we're going to do is if T hit action, okay, and we're going to do the side 1. Equals 1, and we're going to do this. And actually, it'll probably be a little easier if I use this another switch statement. So that's what we're going to do. Switch T dot hit action 1. Actually, let's do. We should be able to. If it hits, it should return a number. So if we actually no, because we want to still know that what side we hit. So anyway, so if we did hit action 1, and if the case is equal to 1, which means we want to move the character, we're going to break it. Case 2, we're going to do player1 dot set position, and we're going to set them equal to 0, 400. So that should make it so if we hit the bottom, that's pretty much our character dies and gets reset. Now I've only done it on the bottom piece, meaning if I wanted my character to die when he hits to the left or the right, I still have to program that exactly the same thing except for I change this to a 2. Alright, so let's make sure that this is okay. So let's jump up again, wall jump, and let's touch this. And I come over here and I respawn. So that is me dying, which is great because now this is becoming a little bit more like a game. And there we go. So let's try to hit this same block somehow different and still be able to jump there. See if I should be able to wall jump on this. There you go. Ooh, and I touched it. So let's see if I can wall jump up. I can cling to the wall. I don't know if I can jump on that. My bottom box must have hit it. So yeah, my bottom boxes must be hitting that. So it's not a good place to wall jump. So otherwise, this actually worked out pretty well. So next time what we'll do is we'll start adding a little bit more, making this more of a playable game. So thank you guys for watching, and hopefully